Imagine scrolling through social media at 2 in the morning, baby finally asleep, when you see a post claiming that picking up your crying infant will spoil them forever. Your heart sinks. Have you been doing everything wrong? Before you spiral into parental panic mode, take a deep breath. Today, we're busting 5 persistent baby care myths that refuse to die, no matter how much science proves them wrong. Being a new parent feels like navigating a minefield of conflicting advice. Your mother-in-law insists on one thing, your paediatrician says another, and that parenting blog you found at 3 a.m. suggests something completely different. The constant bombardment of information can leave even the most confident person questioning every decision. But here's the truth. Many of the most commonly repeated baby care beliefs are actually myths that have been passed down through generations without any scientific backing. These myths aren't just harmless old wives' tales. They can create unnecessary stress, guilt, and confusion for parents who are already doing their best in an incredibly challenging situation. Some of these misconceptions can even interfere with healthy bonding or proper care practices. That's why it's crucial to separate fact from fiction and understand what modern research actually tells us about baby care. The first myth that needs to be demolished is one that causes tremendous anxiety for new parents. The idea that you'll spoil your baby by responding to their cries. This belief suggests that picking up a crying infant teaches them to manipulate you and creates clingy, demanding children. The fear runs so deep that many parents force themselves to listen to their baby scream, fighting every instinct to provide comfort. This myth is completely backwards. Babies under 6 months of age literally cannot be spoiled. Their brains haven't developed enough to understand cause and effect relationships, let alone form manipulative strategies. When a baby cries, they're communicating the only way they know how. They might be hungry, uncomfortable, scared, overstimulated, or simply needing human connection. Responding to these needs isn't spoiling them. It's meeting their basic requirements for survival and healthy development. Research consistently shows that babies whose needs are responded to promptly actually become more secure and independent as they grow. When infants learn they can trust their caregivers to meet their needs, they develop a secure attachment style that serves them throughout life. These children are more confident, have better social skills, and are actually less clingy than babies whose cries were ignored. The irony is that trying not to spoil your baby by ignoring their cries can actually create the very clingy behavior parents fear. Child development experts emphasize that responding to infant cries builds trust and communication skills. Your baby learns that their attempts at communication are valued and effective. This foundation of responsive care actually leads to better self-regulation and emotional stability later in childhood. So the next time someone tells you you're spoiling your baby by picking them up when they cry, remember that you're actually doing exactly what evolution and modern science recommend. The second myth that creates unnecessary worry is the belief that teething causes high fevers. This misconception is so widespread that many parents dismiss serious illnesses as just teething, potentially delaying important medical care. While teething can cause mild discomfort and slightly elevated body temperature, it does not cause high fevers that require medical attention. Teething typically begins between 4 and 7 months of age, which coincidentally overlaps with the time when babies start losing the protective antibodies they received from their mothers during pregnancy. This timing makes them more susceptible to infections and illnesses, which is the real cause of fevers during this period. When parents attribute fevers to teething, they might miss signs of ear infections, respiratory illnesses, or other conditions that need proper treatment. A slight increase in body temperature during teething is normal, but anything over 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit should be evaluated by a healthcare provider. True teething symptoms include increased drooling, wanting to chew on everything, mild fussiness, and possible changes in eating or sleeping patterns. High fever, persistent crying that can't be soothed, rash, vomiting or diarrhea are not teething symptoms and warrant medical attention. Understanding this distinction is crucial for your baby's health and your peace of mind. When you know what symptoms actually indicate teething versus illness, you can respond appropriately. Mild teething discomfort can often be managed with safe teething toys, gentle gum massage, or pediatrician-approved pain relief methods. But when real illness strikes, you'll recognize it and seek appropriate care, rather than assuming it's just another tooth coming in. The third myth that causes significant stress for breastfeeding mothers is the belief that they must eat only bland foods to avoid upsetting their baby's stomach. This misconception has led countless women to eliminate flavorful, culturally significant, or simply enjoyable foods from their diet during one of the most nutritionally demanding times of their lives. The reality is that breast milk actually helps expose babies to different flavors and can make them more accepting of varied foods when they start eating solids. The flavors of foods you eat do transfer to your breast milk, but this is generally beneficial rather than harmful. Babies who are exposed to different tastes through breast milk are often more adventurous eaters as they grow up and may be less likely to develop picky eating habits. While some babies might show sensitivity to certain foods in their mother's diet, this is relatively uncommon and usually involves specific allergens like dairy, soy, or eggs, rather than spicy or flavorful foods in general. Most breastfeeding mothers can continue eating the foods they enjoyed during pregnancy without any issues. The key is paying attention to your individual baby's reactions, rather than restricting your diet based on unfounded fears. Maintaining a varied, nutritious diet while breastfeeding is important for your own health and energy levels. You're already dealing with sleep deprivation and the physical demands of caring for a newborn. Adding unnecessary food restrictions can make it even harder to get the nutrition you need. Unless your baby shows clear signs of reacting to specific foods, there's no need to eat a bland diet. Trust your body's ability to produce nutritious milk, regardless of whether you enjoy spicy food or not. Our fourth myth tackles the persistent belief that babies need water in addition to breast milk or formula during their first 6 months of life. This misconception can actually be dangerous, as giving water to young infants can lead to serious health complications, including water intoxication and malnutrition. Breast milk and properly prepared formula contain all the water babies need, even in hot weather. Breast milk is actually composed of about 88% water, making additional water unnecessary and potentially harmful. When babies drink water, it fills their small stomachs and reduces their intake of nutrient-rich breast milk or formula. This can lead to poor weight gain and inadequate nutrition during a critical period of development. Water intoxication, also called water poisoning, occurs when babies consume too much water relative to their body size. This can dilute the sodium levels in their blood, leading to dangerous swelling in the brain and other serious complications. Young infants' kidneys aren't mature enough to process excess water efficiently, making them particularly vulnerable to this condition. Even during hot weather, healthy babies don't need additional water if they're breastfeeding or receiving properly prepared formula. If you're concerned about dehydration, watch for signs like fewer wet diapers, dry mouth, or unusual fussiness, and consult your pediatrician. These symptoms are more likely to indicate illness or feeding problems rather than a need for water. Once your baby starts eating solid foods around 6 months of age, small amounts of water can be gradually introduced. The fifth and final myth we're addressing is the belief that baby walkers help children learn to walk faster and develop better balance. This myth persists despite overwhelming evidence that walkers actually delay walking and increase the risk of injury. In fact, the American Academy of Pediatrics has called for a ban on the manufacture and sale of baby walkers due to safety concerns. Baby walkers don't teach the muscle development and balance skills that babies need for independent walking. Instead, they allow babies to move around without learning how to balance, shift weight, or use their leg muscles properly. Children who use walkers often walk later than those who don't, because they haven't developed the necessary strength and coordination through natural movement and exploration. The safety risks associated with baby walkers are significant. Thousands of emergency room visits each year are related to walker injuries, including falls downstairs, burns from reaching higher surfaces, and drowning incidents when walkers allow babies to access areas they couldn't normally reach. Walkers give babies mobility before they have the judgment or physical ability to handle it safely. Instead of using walkers, encourage natural development by giving your baby plenty of floor time to practice rolling, crawling, and pulling themselves up. These activities build the core strength, balance, and coordination needed for walking. Most babies take their first independent steps between 9 and 18 months, and this wide range is completely normal. Your baby will walk when they're developmentally ready, and no device can safely speed up this process. Understanding these myths and the facts behind them can transform your parenting experience from one filled with anxiety and second-guessing to one where you can trust your instincts and respond to your baby's actual needs. Remember that babies have survived and thrived for thousands of years without most of the gadgets and rigid rules that modern marketing suggests are essential. The most important tools you have as a parent are your observation skills, your responsive care, and your willingness to seek evidence-based information when you have questions. Every baby is unique, and what works for one family might not work for another. Trust yourself to learn your baby's individual cues and needs, rather than following one-size-fits-all advice that might not apply to your situation. When you encounter new parenting advice, especially if it creates fear or goes against your instincts, take time to research the source and look for scientific backing. Peer-reviewed studies, recommendations from pediatric organizations, and guidance from healthcare providers are much more reliable than anecdotal advice from social media or well-meaning relatives. Your baby doesn't need perfect parents, but they do need parents who are responsive, loving, and informed. By understanding these common myths, you're already taking an important step toward providing the best care possible. Focus on building a strong bond with your baby, meeting their basic needs, and enjoying this unique phase of life, rather than worrying about following every piece of contradictory advice that comes your way. The journey of parenthood is challenging enough without the added stress of myths and misinformation. Armed with facts instead of fears, you can make decisions that truly serve your family's well-being and create the foundation for healthy development and strong relationships that will last a lifetime. Don't forget to grab the free download below. It turns today's insight into a simple step-by-step you can use in the moment.